Welcome to Mandyland, home of the hotness. Yeah, Mandyland. Mandyland.
Anything that I'm asking you is just because that's exactly what I want to know. I'm not going to spend the show talking about things that are readily available for people in your group or on your page because I want to go deeper.
That's good, because one thing that I don't want, that is an instant turn off for me, is in any way trying to make this palatable to your listeners.
Exactly. No.
Not going to happen.
Before I share selected clips from my extraordinary conversation with the enigmatic Sanna Tirronen, I wanted to talk about that experience and how this podcast is different from any of the ones I've done so far. My interview with Sanna was an energetic and a podcaster's dream come true for me. I had been feasting on her brilliance for well over a year before I invited her on the show, and having the opportunity to ask her anything and everything that my curious heart desired was one of the most deeply satisfying experiences in my radio career. Not only is this the only podcast that Sanna has ever done, she has also said that it is the only podcast she will ever do, which makes this rare gem of a dialogue that much more special to me. This is the one and only podcast in Mandyland radio history that has a price tag attached to it. I will share the full details with that after you get a taste of the brilliant, potent, sharp as fuck alien that many of us absolutely love and adore.
Everybody has the potential to do this. Not everybody has the capacity to do this, not in this lifetime. But the fun thing is that the people that don't have the capacity, they don't even think about it. They're actually they're content. They're happy.
Yeah.
There's nothing to fix. But the ones that do, they're still just waiting for something to surrender to. The highest possible form of imaginable to surrender to. Nowadays, the people that come to me, they really come to me to sharpen their blade. It's not because they need something. It's because they want to upgrade the experience. They want to sharpen the blade that is already extraordinarily sharp as it is. They want to play. And the only one that can unmatch them in that game is me.
In this bite of brilliance, Sanna talks about holding the frame.
There's a lot of people trying to teach what I teach nowadays. And this is the reason why I'm the only one that has the capacity to hold a frame for people. And why everybody else is just trying to hold a container. Is that I provide them the frame, the actual experience for their full submission to themselves. I don't explain it to them. I actually make them free fall into the experience. and it's never a container. That's why the things that I do are very illogical. They do not follow any logic, any sense. They don't even follow what I've told them a day before. That's the frame. It's not a container. If it were a container, I would follow that set thing, but it's not a container. I do the exact thing that kills their matter. And that could be not talking to them for 2 weeks, or not showing up for calls, or 4 weeks, or throwing them out of the frame 3 weeks prior to it ending. Because my high masculine knows exactly what to do in the physical to cut the cords that need to be cut.
It knows, but you don't know.
I don't know.
Right. So when you take those actions blind,
it's a turn on for me to take the action. I don't know why I'm taking the action.
Yeah.
The knowing comes afterwards. And that's a part of the tension for me, which is a huge part of the turn on for my high feminine, is that I don't know, which allows her to play with my own swampy feminine and the matter that she tries to bring up.
In this Bite of Brilliance, Sanna talks about the final sacrifice.
That's why I wanted to know if that was inevitable, that anybody that really gets to that level, there could not be a cord once they've erected that inside themselves.
That's the whole point. That is the final sacrifice. Because there's always going to be some sort of a pedestal, unless I cut the cord. And I've never done it physically with any of them. When I say that this is the frame to end all containers, they don't need anyone anymore. And that includes me, and I would not want it any other way. Because now they have their own frame. And that's the requirement for the genius to actually fully activate. Is if there is nothing for them to hold on to. That's why the cord needs to be cut.
In this Bite of Brilliance, Sanna talks about her total power exchange relationship with her husband.
The way it looks like in the physical, it is not the way that people see BDSM or the way people perceive dominance and submission. It's nowhere near. The world of BDSM and the world of dominance and submission, it is not dominance and submission. It is control and surrender. It is laced with rules. It is laced with rituals. All of these tools that people need to hold the tension in the relationship, because the energy is not capable of holding that tension. So they need the extra tools. They need all of it to keep the turn on. And it's not even the real turn on. The actual clean turn on is never towards the physical thing. He follows his turn on in everything that he does. I follow my turn on. And it just so happens that his turn on is the perfect unmatch to mine. And if it isn't, And this is the part where conventional DS relationships would collapse under these dynamics if his energy is not a turn on for me. If it stops being an unmatch, even for a moment, I say no. Because I refuse to surrender. My energetic capacity does not have room for surrender at all. And I can feel the energy instantly if it's not a clean, clear turn on for me. It's not a logical thing, it's a taste. And it's really the taste for the unimaginable. So the second anything becomes imaginable, I recalibrate the frequency, not of him, of my own high masculine, by saying no, because it's never about him. It's never about my husband. It's always about the inner dynamic that I have in my field.
In this Bite of Brilliance, Sanna talks about her experience with time.
How do you experience time?
I don't really. And it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't bother me. But it drives people around me crazy. Because it matters to them. Physical consistency matters to them. Reliability matters to them. Physical.
Right.
What matters to me is energetic consistency and energetic reliability and energetic integrity. And that is a fun game to play with people.
The complete Sanna collection can be purchased on mandylandrocks.com. It includes the podcast in both audio and video form, as well as the candid conversation after the show, where Sanna made me an extraordinary offer that brought me to tears. In addition to that, I have curated a collection of Sanna's Bites of Brilliance that can be purchased separately. There are 20 individual clips in this collection, which will give you a hearty taste. Both can be purchased on mandylandrocks.com.
Mandyland.